Thank you for staying with us for this late timing, physically and also online. And in the next session, I would like to introduce you the single retail CBDC pilot that existed within the European Union. Actually, it was running from May 2023 until this February, and we have a lot of takeaways, and I would like to present about that. So first and foremost, how the story started. Actually, our management wanted us to have an initiative which is a little bit smaller scale, so it's nothing to do about the generally applicable retail CBDC, but a definite smaller case use case where we can actually field test what does a CBDC introduction mean for a central bank. So we came with the idea that we should target the primary school age children and their families with issuing a CBDC and helping their journey on digital financial literacy and inclusion. And via this use case, we can issue a real CBDC, direct liability of the Central Bank of Hungary, and we can actually learn about how this affects the whole organization and what are the main working processes during this journey. So, as I said, in May 2023, we launched the Student Safe, and it was applicable for the children who already have their own finances, who are very digital, but they are underserved by the banks, first and foremost because of legal reasons, so they are not eligible for having a bank account individually. So we offered them a free digital wallet. Why I'm saying a wallet? Because we are actually issuing an e-money. So we identified the really narrow line in the legal framework. The EU e-money directive actually allows the central banks to issue an e-money, and in this way we were not held back by any legislative processes, but we could launch the project right away. And so the project was realized actually in about 16 to 18 months with different working procedures. So we always in these CBDC projects, the technology part is the simplest work stream, and apart from that, we had a user-centric work stream about realizing really cutting-edge UX UI, because in the world of CBDC, it's not only about what the central bank wants, but it really have to offer something really appealing to the customers, which is as convenient, as safe, and as appealing as any other market-based solutions. But apart from that, we had to prepare our organization for the operation, and of course our own team to cover all the work streams and all the processes that we require from the market participants to cover according to law, especially KYC and AML coverage. So what we worked out was a really nice, well-functioning digital wallet with all possible functionalities, so QR code payments, instant transfer connection, request to pay, piggy bank functions, and all this represented in the balance sheet of the central bank. We also included conditional payments, which was motivated by the possibility that the parents could control the payments flow of their children, and they could directly give them tasks, and all the transactions and messages were conducted via our app. But we not only offer the cutting-edge digital wallet, but we thought that we need an extra motivating factor behind the scheme, which differentiates our wallet from other market-based solutions, and it was organized around the student coins, which were nicely designed digital coins at the beginning, and they were distributed in return for solving quizzes about financial literacy, digitalization, sustainability. And also every month the parents were given free of charge 500 coins to use it and transferring it to the children either unconditionally or via giving tasks and setting conditional payments. And at the end of the day, all these student coins could be redeemed at the biggest e-commerce provider, the eMAG, in the form of any purchases present. So it was actually a free gift from the central bank in return for learning and in return for being active on the app. We also covered the KYC AML by our own, meaning that we had a special team and a special regime, actually a two-step process. So it was like the first grade could be accessed only by providing the email address, and this let the users to use limited functionality, and for the full functionality, full KYC was required. And so the whole architecture of the project was modular, and this not only helped us in risk management, but also it provides a future-proof framework, meaning that any of the parts can be exchanged. For example, this is a centralized ledger system, but it can be easily converted to a DLT-based structure. What you can see here is that the majority of the project was under the central bank, but we had very valuable partners. First and foremost, we had the commercial banks in different roles. So as we were issuing an e-money, we needed a custodian bank, and this custodian bank was a commercial bank, and they were not only custodying the cash leg of the e-money, but they also provided us direct connection to the instant payment system, meaning that users could redeem the e-money 7/24. We also had a commercial bank who provided us the VPOS possibility to top up the accounts with card payment, and also we used the QR code-based payment scheme for the payments part. Overall, we were coming out with a scheme comparable to any market-based solution, and we had very diverse challenges during this journey. First and foremost, from organizational point of view, we had to orchestrate the whole system within the central bank, including compliance, accounting, every area. And I would like to highlight that these teams never had the task to operate any customer-facing functionalities, so it was a completely novel exercise for them. We also had to be open 7/24, and this is also an unusual, usually for the central bank. So before that, we only had the homepage as a 7/24 accessible system. We need to learn how to work in an agile method with our partners, because the vendors who served us were two Hungarian fintechs, and also the commercial banks are usually operating in an agile mode, so we had to forget about waterfall as much as possible, and we had to do our own homework and work out all the reporting, monitoring, KYC, and notifications functions. From architectural point of view, we had to find the proper place for the system within the central bank infrastructure. Of course, it had to be extremely safe and resilient because we were issuing money, but actually in reality, it was not connected to any, let's say, high security core central bank infrastructures like RTGS. Even though our fintech and banking partners are already working with the cloud environment, the local regulation required us to implement an on-premise solution, because as a central bank, we are not allowed to use any cloud-based solutions. Still, we had to implement and operate the API connections to our commercial bank partners. And we not only had to be open, but had to be accessible 7/24. So we had to guarantee a high level availability. Also, it was a novel exercise for our fintechs to actually work with the central bank, because our IT security team set really high standards from the outset, but also I have to admit that they were also coming up with new and higher requirements during the process. So it was a real challenge for the fintech vendors. And finally, we had to go through multiple vulnerability tests before the launch to the general public. And lastly, as the central banks never interacted with retail users, and especially not with children beforehand, we had to pay really high attention to the cutting edge UX UI and learn about design thinking. We also had to hire experts with banking experience to cover all the customer-facing functions, complaints, queries, registration, which doesn't entail anything for the future, so that we think about a tier 1 CBDC in the future, but it means that we had to explore what these tasks actually mean in practice and learn about these requirements to be prepared for any future tasks. And also, we paid really high attention to frequent interaction with our user base, and we not only interacted, but we were asking for their feedbacks, and based on their feedbacks, we implemented fine-tuning modifications continuously. So actually, we were running the project and got very prestigious international recognition. So last year we got a prize from central banking publications called CBDC Initiative of the Year. And also locally, we got a special prize from MasterCard in the Financial Solution of the Year for Young People category in the Bank of the Year gala. So even though no trees are growing to the sky, so the tough reality came actually last autumn, when the government banned the usage of mobile phones in the primary and secondary schools in Hungary, meaning that it was a serious jeopardy for our use case, also in a peer-to-peer transactions in between the students, and also in the QR code-based payment plans, where we have seen that the main use case is that the children could pay in the school canteens. So first, this let's say news, and also the rapid development of the digital euro prompted our management to reconsider where the main focus of the central bank is put for the future. So as the digital euro is developed with the idea of monetary sovereignty in the hindsight, our management wanted us to consider rather a more general solution and work on the idea whether we need anything like a digital forint for monetary sovereignty consideration as well. So overall, the system closure was announced in last December and was, let's say, orderly shut down by the end of February. And there are some general takeaways, and I would like to highlight some of these. So, of course, it helped us to present a solution at several international forums. And also, we were successful in rapidly implementing the system because we could rely on the existing legal framework. So we didn't have to rely on actually the support of the parliament or politicians and engage into sensitive discussions on privacy and the need for a CBDC. We could also rely on the specialty that, as it was a pilot, we could move fast, and we didn't need to care so much about the edge cases, and we were definitely not building a Death Star for unlimited time, but we could release the solution pretty soon. I would like to highlight this, that we were not jeopardizing the business objectives of the commercial banks. We were working in close cooperation with them. I think this is one of the main threats of any other CBDC initiatives, that the central bank expects the commercial banks to innovate, to work, to invest, even though the CBDC itself is jeopardizing their own business model. We were also offering an extra motivation for use. So we were not just another digital payment solution, but we distributed presents, and we were educating our user base. And we were, of course, using the feedback as a very precious news, and could rely on that. So currently the system is in our test server. We had some ideas where it could have been developed. So we could implement the offline part into it. We could also create an SDK and test the hybrid CBDC model in cooperation with the commercial banks. We could also implement a card-based system, because this is the most prevalent, well-known digital payment solution. So to boost adoption, this is a possible way forward. We could also introduce an investment connection, and of course we had some plans also to include programmability functions. So overall, if you would like to learn more, you can access our white paper via this QR code. So thank you for your attention, and if we have some time, I'm open for the questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any question? So.
Mentioned about the app, or not the app, but thank you. Hi. Yes, so I have a question, and it's related to the fact that you mentioned that it's banned in schools to use mobile phones, for example. So that's why this, of course, has an effect on how students could use or could not use in that case, to pay in canteens, for example. So I was wondering what would be a solution for that? And, I was already thinking about it. Could that be a potentially like a debit card or a credit card, which is not a mobile app, but actually a card which students could use to potentially pay in the canteen, but still connected at the back end, for example, with potentially the CBDC. So just wanted to understand if that card functionality was also on the agenda. I know it involves POS terminals that need to be set up and so on and so forth. But as next steps, are there ideas about how this could develop, given that, mobile phones are still banned in schools?
Okay, thank you. So as I said, we were considering the virtual card, so embedded on the mobile phone originally, because this could help adoption. But physical card is a little bit more complex, because it's like the very same as other companies like Revolut are already offering and distributing. So nothing special which our model could be supported by. So just to highlight that the problem with the ban was that our main direction of marketing was via schools. So we entered schools, we motivated schoolmasters to promote the scheme and use it. So it would have needed a main overhaul of the whole project if we wanted to accommodate this ban.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are running out of time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.